When we talk about ultimate power, we usually think of three things, right? All-knowing, all-powerful, and being everywhere at once. But what if I told you there's a fourth kind of allness that almost never gets talked about? Well, today, we're going to dig into that hidden fourth axis of totality.
So, let's just start with a question. You know those three big omni words that always come up when you think of ultimate power? Omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent. But here's the thing. Do they really cover everything? Is it possible there's a whole other dimension of allness that these famous words just completely miss?
Okay, so let's start with what we all know. We're going to do a quick run-through of the big three: space, knowledge, and power. By recapping these, you'll start to see a really clear pattern emerge. And, more importantly, you'll see what's missing.
First up, you've got omnipresent. This one's all about the domain of space. I mean, think about it. If you were omnipresent, you could literally be on a beach in Hawaii and at the top of Mount Everest at the exact same time. It's about being everywhere, totality on the axis of space. Simple enough, right?
All right, next we have omniscient. This is totality on the axis of, well, knowledge. And we're not just talking about being super smart here. This is knowing everything. You'd know the answer to every single question, you'd know where every lost sock in the world is, you'd know the ending to every story before it's even written. Just complete and total information. And then, to round out our familiar trio, there's omnipotent. Its domain is power. This is the big one, right? The ability to do anything. You could create something from absolutely nothing. You could stop time in its tracks. It's total control over cause and effect. So you're seeing the pattern, yeah? We've got space, knowledge, and power.
Okay, so we have our three axes: space, knowledge, and power. But this is where things get really, really interesting. We're about to introduce that fourth axis, and it deals with something completely different: variety, form. You see, those first three, they all describe the scope of a being's existence, but they don't say a single thing about its actual nature or what it's made of.
So here's the crucial point. We're missing an axis that's not about scope, but about variety. About multiplicity, about different forms. What do you even call something that can be not just in all places or know all things, but can be all kinds of things?
And that word, the word that fills this massive gap, is omnifarious. Its domain is variety. It means having or being capable of all forms, all kinds, all possible manifestations. So it's not about being in all places. It's about having all shapes. It's a totality of diversity itself.
And this quote just nails the core idea perfectly. Omnifarious is not about totality of scope, but totality of kinds. See, it's not about being everywhere or knowing everything or being able to do anything. It's about being able to be anything. We're talking about a totality of categories, of types, of how something can manifest.
Okay, so now we have all four pieces on the board. For this next part, we're going to put them all side by side and compare them directly. Because honestly, seeing them all together is the absolute best way to see how they each have their own totally unique domain. Okay, so this comparison table, it just lays everything out so clearly. I want you to look at that last column, the one that says what it does not claim. This is where it all clicks into place. Look at how being omnipresent says nothing about your power or what you're made of. Being omniscient says nothing about where you are. And here's the big one. Being omnifarious, our fourth axis, says absolutely nothing about your power, your knowledge, or being everywhere. Each one stays strictly in its own lane.
You know what? If you just want the simplest possible way to remember all this, here it is. Omnipresent means being everywhere. Omniscient means knowing everything. Omnipotent means you can do anything. And our new friend Omnifariousness means you can be anything. Simple as that.
And that brings us to what I think is the most important takeaway from this whole thing: the huge distinction between scope and kind. This isn't just about four fancy words for all, it's about two fundamentally different types of totality. So on one side, you've got the totality of scope. That's our first three: omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent. They answer questions like, how far does it reach? How much does it know? How powerful is it? But then, omnifarious stands all by itself. It describes a totality of kind. It answers a totally different question. How many types of thing can it be? It's a totality of form, not of space or knowledge or power. Which, leaves us with a pretty fascinating final thought. What would a truly omnifarious being even look like? Is it some kind of mythological god? A shapeshifter from a sci-fi movie? Or maybe Could it be a future AI, one that's capable of manifesting itself in any form, whether it's digital or physical? I mean, this concept just opens up a whole new access for our imagination to play with.